Hello everyone and hello from Malaysia. Welcome to our AIMST Biotechnology Students Association Webinar Series. Thank you very much for your participation today. You have joined our webinar on online education, past, present, and future. We will begin our program shortly. I would like to kick off today's program by reminding you of some of the housekeeping items as seen on the screen. First of all, please turn off your microphone during the session and only unmute when required to speak. Please turn on your camera so that we can see each other. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to message us through the chat box. We will try our best to address your concern. The chat box is also there for you to introduce yourself. Please give us your name and your organization. Last but not least, no phone calls or disruption during the session. Note that this session will be recorded and we are live on YouTube. The recording will be saved on our YouTube channel right after the session. An evaluation survey will appear at the end of our session. Please spend a few minutes on providing your feedback, as it will be really meaningful for us to improve our next session. Thank you very much for your attention. And once again, welcome all to our webinar organized by AIMST Biotechnology Students Association. My name is Anxin. I'm really proud to tell you that I'm a student of BSc Honor in Biotechnology degree program at AIMST University. It is a great honor for me to serve as the MC for this webinar. If anyone has any issue with audio or video, please use the chat box and we will do our best to help you. To start the session, I would like to invite Ms. Vivian Lim Zhiling, the ABSA Vice President, to deliver her welcoming remarks.
Hello everyone and greetings from Malaysia. I think it is not too late to wish you all a very happy and prosperous New Year. Our honorable speaker of the day, Professor Dr. Abdul Karim Alias, Professor of Food Technology at School of Industrial Technology, University Science Malaysia. He is also wearing a hat of Director for the Center for the Development of Academic Excellence in USM. Senior Professor N. Ravichandran, Dean of Faculty of Applied Sciences, AIMST University. Our very supportive ABSA advisor, Senior Associate Professor Dr. Subash, professors, lecturers, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. On behalf of the AIMST Biotechnology Students Association, I welcome you all. I'm glad to see all of you here, though it is virtually. I'm delighted to know that we have more than 400 registered participants from 7 different countries. We have participants from Australia, India, Japan, Kyrgyzstan, Libya, Malaysia, and Myanmar. This is our 4th webinar as a part of our ABSA Webinar Series. As an association of students, ABSA always strives to provide a quality and comprehensive social platform to our biotechnology and bioinformatics students here at AIMST University. We help them to learn new things, to grow, and to have fun in the process. We have organized numerous activities, including the annual sports event, ABSA Olympics, faculty prom night, undergraduate orientation, to name a few. In this age of modern technology and the ever-growing field of biotechnology, our intellectual capacity is essential. However, our soft skills are equally important. In fact, soft skills are more important than ever before, no matter whether you are a researcher, entrepreneur, patent agent, or writer after graduation. Therefore, ABSA has started a webinar series. All members of ABSA will get an opportunity to organize the webinar in this series. The goal of our webinar series is to provide a platform for the students to develop and refine their various soft skills, such as leadership, teamwork, communication, interpersonal skills, event organization, and time management skills. Simultaneously, these webinars will help ABSA members and all participants to update themselves with the latest knowledge in respective area of webinar topics. I want to thank our honorable speaker, Professor Karim. We are honored to host you. Thank you for accepting our invitation. Thank you, Professor M. Ravichandran, for joining us. I want to thank the organizing committees for doing a marvelous job. The efforts and time they committed to this webinar are appreciable. Last but not least, my special thanks to our ABSA advisor, Senior Associate Professor Dr. Subash, for training and guiding my team members. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for joining us. Without further ado, Mr. Ng Xiaoqian, over to you. Please lead the way.
Thank you very much, Ms. Vivian, for the wonderful welcoming remarks. Next, I would like to invite the Dean of Faculty of Applied Sciences, Senior Professor Ravi Chandran, to deliver his opening remarks.
Good morning, everyone. I think it is a very interesting and important day, and particularly my warm welcome to Professor Abdul Karim. I think very glad to meet you in this particular webinar. He's actually is a leader in online education. He's an expert, and we are very lucky to have you here, sir. And actually, Dr. Karim, I know I was in USM before and we know well. Sorry, I'm very sorry about informal here. I'm away from the campus. I would like to support my students' effort. Actually, it's very unique. And we are privileged to join a program organized by my own students. And actually, they are very highly professional. And the way the background, the protocol, and the whole team. So I'd like to convey my congratulations to Dr. Subash for organizing this team, but I also congratulate Hugo, the president of AIMST Biotech Students Association webinar, Praveen, Veelong, Vivian, and Amanda, Darren, Yong, Lavanya, Fazla, Kamini, Yamuna, and Sandli. I think if I missed anyone's name, and please apologize. I think I congratulate each and every one of you for doing a wonderful organizing an international event, a webinar, and it is very apt for the current situation. So everyone is depending on online education. I think you brought in the expert, the top expert in the country. I think it's wonderful to have that. You have made an effort to teach the teachers, teach the lecturers. I think it's very unique in that way. Okay, with this, I'd like to thank you all and hope you have a very good deliberation on the webinar on online education. Thank you, Prof. Karim. Over to the MC.
Thank you very much, Professor Ravi Chandran, for your inspiring opening remarks. Next, I would like to invite the chairperson of the organizing committee, Ms. Amandaalvin, to say a few words and introduce the moderator for today's webinar. Ms. Amanda, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Ng Xiaoqian. Hello, everyone from Malaysia. I'm Amandaalvin, a Year 3 student of BSc Honours in Biotechnology degree program of AIMST University. I'm enjoying my study at AIMST University. It is an honor to serve as the chairman of the organizing committee for this webinar. On behalf of the organizing committee, I welcome our speaker for today, Dr. Abdul Karim Alias, who is a professor of food technology at School of Industrial Technology, University Science Malaysia, and Director of Center of Development of Academic Excellence, USM Malaysia. Dean of our Faculty of Applied Sciences, Senior Professor Ravichandran, AIMST Biotechnology Students Association Advisor, Senior Associate Professor Dr. Subash, and all participants of this webinar. This is our 4th webinar of ABSA Webinar Series, organized by AIMST Biotech Students Association, and we are very proud to host it. As chairperson of the organizing committee, I want to thank Professor Abdul Karim Alias for accepting our invitation and becoming a part of our webinar series. I want to thank the Dean of our faculty, Professor Ravichandran, for also want to thank Mr. Darren for accepting the challenge to play the role as a moderator for this webinar. Last but not least, I want to especially thank Senior Associate Professor Dr. Subash. He has guided my team throughout the process of making this webinar series a reality. I noticed that he wants to see our students excel. I want to record my special thanks to Dr. Subash for his guidance and molding us to play these roles. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I welcome all of y'all and thank you for joining us. Mr. Anxin, back to you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Amanda. Now, I request the moderator of the webinar, Mr. Darren Nathan, to introduce the speaker and start the session. Mr. Darrell, please.
Thank you, Sausian. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a good day. I am Darren Nathan, and I'm currently a Year 1 BSc Honours in Biotechnology student from AIMST University. I'm honored to serve as today's moderator. I also want to thank the audience for joining us in this webinar. Just a gentle reminder, if you have any question during the presentation, do post it in our Zoom chat box so it can be answered during our Q&A session. We can't imagine how the situation would have been without online education. Online teaching and learning mode is practiced all around the world due to COVID-19 pandemic. This webinar is also an example of online learning. Some of us might have a positive or negative feeling about online teaching and learning. Therefore, in this webinar, we will have a better understanding about online education. It's my great pleasure to introduce the speaker for today's webinar, Professor Dr. Abdul Karim Alias. Professor Dr. Abdul Karim Alias is a professor of food technology at University Science Malaysia and current director of the Center for Development of Academic Excellence. He has been teaching at USM for over 26 years. He was the recipient of the prestigious National Academic Award in 2008 for teaching from the Ministry of Higher Education of Malaysia. In 2015, Professor Dr. Karim has been recognized as the top 50 educators in Asia Pacific by Therapy in Asia and has been awarded with the Malaysia Rising Star 2015 Award. Also Malaysia Research Star Award in 2016, 2017, and 2018. He was also named as the world's most influential scientific mind by Clarivate Analytics. At national level, he is a master trainer for ACAP and involved as a writer for Malaysia Education Blueprint. He led the development of Malaysia MOOC as a co-chairman of the National Technical Committee. Professor Dr. Karim is a strong advocate of leveraging the internet as an alternative medium for learning and teaching. He has developed and maintained several teaching portals, websites, online courses, and blogs related to teaching, learning, and research. As of October 9, 2020, his teaching videos on YouTube channel have received over 860,000 views from over 190 countries with an estimated watch hour of 49K and a total of 4,900 subscribers. With this brief introduction, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Abdul Karim Alias to take the control of the floor. Professor Dr. Karim, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Darrell. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. So once again, thank you to AIMST for inviting me this morning. It's really an honor, and I'm very delighted to share a topic on online education this morning with all of you. So thank you, Prof. Ravi Chandran, Dr. Subash, and the students. This is actually a very commendable effort on your part for organizing this, and this is a very good training to organize such event. You learn how to manage this kind of. So this is part and parcel of learning the so-called 21st century skills, and this is one of the kind of program that to me is very commendable effort on the part of AIMST and also the students. So congratulations to all of you for the effort. So I just mentioned the name here, Amanda, Shaukian, and Darrell, and others in the committee. Okay, so let me share my screen. So can you see my slide, Darrell?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Before I start, I have about 100 slides here, but don't worry. My slides has very little text and a lot of pictures, and you will have the link. I've shared the link in the chat box, so you can download all the slides and you can use it for your reference later, and you can share with others as well. That's a spirit of sharing. Sharing is caring. In the world of digital, in the era of digital, the spirit of sharing is something that we want to really encourage. So the topic today given to me by the organizer is to speak on this topic, online education, past, present, and future. This is a very timely topic because, as we know very well, this last year, so I'm still thinking of this year, 2020. So we are in the 2021, but last year was the year where, due to COVID-19, online learning, online education has jumped to a different trajectory. Previously, people aware about online education, they know about e-learning, online learning. Maybe they have heard about MOOC, MOOC, but not many people really give a serious attention, including among the educators. Among the students, probably they have been using also a lot of content, a lot of learning materials online. But due to COVID, and since March 2020, everyone now basically has no choice but to use to go online and do the teach online and learn online. So I think it's good now to take a stock, pause, and look at the bigger perspective of how this online education started and how it evolves over the years and what we have, how the online education from now on will evolve in the future and where are we in the whole big picture and what are the roles that we can play to support online education. Everyone has a role to play, whether as a teacher, whether as a user, whether as a student. Everyone has a role to play to contribute the corpus of knowledge that we have now online. We are talking about the exabytes of information and knowledge available, a huge repository of knowledge that we have online now that we need to leverage. Okay, so that's my kind of prologue for the introductory remarks for the session this morning. I would like just to mention, I saw in the list just now, I saw Dato Aini Idris, a former Vice Chancellor of UPM, is also joining us this morning. Thank you, Dato, for being here. I know you are a true lifelong learners, always want to learn new things. So really honored to have you here. Right, so these are some of the agenda or the things that I'm going to cover, kind of touch and go. So I would like to start with why online learning. It's very important to start with the why, and then only we can look at other things. Why online learning? Then I will briefly talk about the history of online learning and how it evolves over the years, which basically, I would say online learning is still relatively young in age. If we look at history, chronologically, it's still quite young. It started off in early 80s and until now is probably about 20 years or so. So 20 years, I would consider just like the students here are still very young and very green. A lot more to learn, a long way to go. Okay, and more interestingly, in our context now, I want to pay more attention or to give more time to dwell on to talk about evolution of open education. And in this where the power of online education and the power of online learning to democratize education, to reach out learners all over the world. Okay. And I want to talk about how technology support online education in the form of learning on demand? And then how do we leverage online learning and how it will evolve in the future moving forward? All right. Now, Nelson Mandela, late Nelson Mandela, one of his famous quotes when he talked about education, he said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So these are the words, I think, that to me, very, very true. We need to have a good education system. We need to educate our citizens, our people, because with education, we can change the world. So let's watch this video. I hope you can.
The single most important thing we can do to make sure we've got a world-class education system for everybody. That is a prerequisite for prosperity. It is an obligation that we have for the next generation.
That's the obligation that we have for the next generation, which is to provide the best education possible to our people. So this Barack Obama, the previous president of United States, he said the single most important thing we can do to make sure we got a world-class education system for everybody, that's the prerequisite for prosperity. So when we talk about online education, we should not lose sight on the bigger picture, which is education itself. So online education just a means to the end, which means to provide the best education possible. So now, apart from doing education within the physical boundary of our classroom, which, if there's no COVID now, probably you are in the classroom now. But education can go beyond that physical boundary. And this is where the technology can be used, as a means to take education to a bigger audience globally, borderless. This is where the online learning can really be, leveraged. But having said that, when we talk about online education, we know very well, so this is a story from the COVID episode. I'm sure you know very well this story. Sabah girl stays in free to get internet connection. I don't know whether the title is grammatically correct, yeah, but you get the idea. So internet connection, when we talk about online education now, inevitably we have to get connected to the internet. So without that connection, then we cannot have access to the internet and have access to the knowledge, information that we have in the internet. So we know that there are still issues. There are still so-called, the term that they use, digital divide. There are still gaps that we need to fulfill in order to deliver online education in the most efficient manner, in the inclusive manner, so that no one will left behind. Okay. And following up on that story, there is more story here related to that. More students in Malaysia are climbing trees for online classes due to poor internet connection. So the reason I'm sharing this one is just to show you, the reality when we talk about online education, there are still a lot of gap there. And there are still, as you can see here, access to education in any form is still a challenge in many parts of the world. So we are talking here about online education, but keep in mind that even in a basic form of education, have access to the school, going to the school is still a challenge to millions of people, the bottom billion so-called, in many parts of the world. And you can guess where this picture is taken, probably somewhere in Malaysia. It is possible. Can you imagine? This is just beyond me. When I look at this, as a parent, I can see, I can feel how it feels like to the parent to see their children crossing the bridge in, the kind of suspension bridge here, to go to the school, just to go to the school and get the education. So access to education is still a challenge in many parts of the world. So this is where the UNESCO, under the United Nations, as the agency that is responsible to, provide the best education to the world citizen, they have this agenda under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which states that everyone has the right to education. And following that, now we have the SDG. So to all students, if you are not aware what is SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, maybe you want to, to look at it. There are 17 SDGs there. Some are very related to your area, biotechnology and so on. But with respect to education, as far as education is concerned, the UNESCO agenda, Education for All Now, is translated into SDG goal number 4, which basically to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So I would strongly encourage you to study this Sustainable Development Goal number 4 here, because it is very, very relevant to all of us. So the key word here, inclusive education. No one is left behind. No one is left behind, no matter what is your situation, what is your, background, your family background, your family income, where you are in demographically. Everyone should have equal access to education and quality education, and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So how do we achieve this goal? Okay, so there's something that we need to look at. And in this regard, to support the SDG 4 and also in our blueprint, for your information, shift number 9 in our blueprint, Malaysia Education Blueprint 2015-2025, for higher education, there are 10 so-called 10 shift. Yeah, 10 lonjakan. Shift number 9 is called globalized online learning, and I'm very proud that I'm one of the writers for that shift. Yeah, but basically it's about pushing the agenda of online education for Malaysian. Okay, and this is where the technology comes in. Technology can be a boon, it can be a bane. Technology can be used, can be abused. So it depends on how we look at and use technology. But in the context of education, to me, technology is really a boon. Yeah. So how does technology help in democratizing education, in supporting sustainable development goal number 4, in supporting the agenda of globalized online learning in our Malaysia education blueprint? So let's look at it. So now this is where the brief history of how this online education, starting from, we talk about e-learning in the, in the early days, we talk about e-learning, but now the term e-learning is less and less being used, less and less. Now people talk about online learning, but the history of online education is relatively short. In the early days when we start the so-called pengajian pendidikan jarak jauh, open and distant learning education. In fact, USM was the kind of the pioneer in online distant learning, ODL, pendidikan jarak jauh. So in the early 80s, where the technology, the computer, personal computer technology and the internet start to be accessible to the public. So in the 1980s, for example, the personal computer now have people have access to the personal computer, home computer. Before that, we have a big computer in the form of mainframe, and it's almost impossible for individual to own a computer. But this has changed, especially in the 1980s. If you see the picture here, the picture of Macintosh single drive. This happened to be my first computer when I studied my master's in England. I bought my first computer in 1988. A single drive, no hard disk, Macintosh. Yeah, and since then the technology has, developed almost like exponentially. So in the 1980s, 1990s, we have technology, help education to reduce cost of distance learning and helping bring education to wider audience. So where is open distance learning, jarak jauh, yeah, pengajian jarak jauh that provide options, to those people who couldn't make it to the university through the normal channel, and they go out to work, but they can still go through the ODL program to get a degree. Yeah, so this is in the early 1990s. At that time, the open and distance learning basically was done through the so-called the different sites all over the countries. The internet at that time is still very basic. So from 1990s to 2000, so like a decade, about in the 10 years time, in 10 years time, the development of internet. I remember when I came back in 1994, joined USM. At that time, the website, everything is still very basic. You have to learn HTML to create a website. But now things have changed. You can create website in 5 minutes using Google Site and other website builder. But in 1994, when I joined USM, I remember I wanted to create a website. I have to learn HTML to create a website. But from 1992 to 2000, the development of the internet is really very exponential, and this is where the online education really take off. So online education help people to work and study at the same time. 2010, from 2000 to 2010, a decade, another 10 years, we have even better infrastructure. We have even higher speed of the internet. Now, when Apple introduced iPhone, in what year when the iPhone was introduced, then come the other brand like Samsung and so on. And everyone now have access to internet through their smartphone in their hand. So the social media become very popular, started from Facebook and so on. Now we have TikTok as the new phenomenon. Okay, Instagram, Facebook, Instagram, then we have TikTok now. Okay, I just learned TikTok and I just produced one TikTok video a few days ago. And in 2014, this is where the online courses and online program, MOOC, Massive Open Online Course, really exploded. So that's basically a brief history of how the online education evolved until the present state now. So in the early days, we use the term e-learning, which there are many definitions of e-learning, but this is one of the definitions. Learning facilitated and supported using information and communication technology, using ICT, basically, so that's what e-learning is. But now with the internet connection become more prevalent, become more ubiquitous, everyone, almost everyone has a smartphone. So everyone will have access and connected to the internet. Everyone is wired. So online education now become more and more common. So if you look at this, our present state of e-learning or online education now, some people give a label or a version. They call it online learning 3.0. So if we have 3.0, there must be 1.0, 2.0. So if we see this one, the past, where I remember when I joined USM, I mentioned just now in 1994, I have to learn HTML to create a website. So perhaps that is a time in the early 1990s. We call it e-learning 1.0 here. In-person classes, static web pages, PDF, disjointed how to do video. And I don't remember at that time, YouTube. Who knows when YouTube was launched here, but it's still very basic, I guess. So from there, we have progressed to so-called Web 2.0. So this is where we start to have online courses, classroom blended talking head videos, multiple choice quiz, online rudimentary analytics, and out of the box LMS, learning management system. Yeah. Then it evolved now. Perhaps now what we have is so-called web 3.0 or online learning 3.0, where we can customize our learning experience. We can personalize our learning experience. And this is where learning on demand now. You can learn anything just in time, just enough, and just for me, very personalized. It's not like one size fits all, but we can tailor the learning according to the person's need for that particular time. And they only learn what they need for that particular time, the skill that they want to learn. They don't have to learn other things, you know. So this is where we call it online learning 3.0, our present situation now. And we have the technology to support, especially now with apa ni we'll call this Allah Akbar. What's the technology? 5G, yeah. 5G is around the corner. In China, they already have 5G. Can you imagine when 5G really and when we really have 5G in Malaysia? So how do we leverage the technology? And soon, very soon, we will have 6G. So you can see the online education is now going to be very, very big, in the next 2-3 years, yeah, even now. So internet is constantly challenging us to rethink learning and education while refining our notion of literacy. What this means is our learning is not confined only in the classroom. It's not only confined to the 3M, but with the internet, we can learn just about anything, anytime, anywhere. Yeah. So let's look at some statistics here to understand and to give you the perspective. Yeah. This data is as of January 2020. We don't have the data for I think there is also December 2020, but never mind, just give a very rough idea. Overview of this digital, for the digital kind of, we'll call this digital in Asia Pacific in 2020. I just focus on Asia Pacific where Malaysia is geographically. So in Asia Pacific, in total, we have about 4.3 billion. The world population now may be about 3 billion plus. And out of this 4.3 billion, 48% live in the urban area. And why this figure is important? Because a lot of internet connectivity is probably good in the urban area, but less in or even poor in the rural area. So there's a digital divide that is still there and still exists. What about mobile phone? We can see here 4.43 billion population in Asia Pacific versus the population 103%. What does that mean? It means simply almost everyone has at least one phone, and maybe majority a smartphone, which means that they can have access to the internet through the browser. Internet users, about 56% penetration, which is quite high, and this is increasing. Maybe by now, probably, I know that in Malaysia, almost close to 80% penetration. Okay, but of course, the quality of the internet connection varies from place to place. And look at the social media users, 50%. So meaning that a lot of people are using social media and spend their time on social media. So if we now bring learning to the social media, if educators now design their learning around the tools of social media, I think this would really engage students more, because students like to spend time on social media. If you look at this data, for example, time spent with media, daily time spent using internet, 6 hours 43 minutes. we have 24 hours. Can you imagine 6 hours, 43 minutes using the internet, using social media, 2 hours, 24 minutes in total, watching television, 3 hours, listening to music streaming service like Spotify and those services, 1 hour, 26 minutes, and using games console, 1 hour, 10 minutes. I thought it's higher, but this is the figure that we have. And what about the social media usage? Facebook is still the top, YouTube, WhatsApp, FB Messenger, and Instagram and TikTok. TikTok probably would increase even more this year and in the next 3 years. So the reason why I'm showing you this data, just to give you the perspective that the power of the technology is there, and a lot of teaching and learning can really happen through this medium if we know how to leverage, how to utilize to the maximum potential of this technology. So here, technology can really be a boon if we know how to leverage and utilize it to the maximum. So technology is really revolutionizing the way education is delivered. But we just want to learn how to really maximize the use of technology. Both the lecturers, the educators, teachers, they need to now learn how to utilize technology to the maximum. They cannot continue to give excuse that they are not tech savvy, that they are, the old generation. I think that excuse probably cannot be accepted, because the millennial, like most of the students here, they love to use technology. They are on the technology. They're born probably with the technology around them. So it becomes second nature. It becomes part and parcel of their life. It becomes their DNA. So we cannot blame them if they love technology, if they want to learn using the technology. Yeah. So we have all the technology. We have all the tools. We have all the devices now. So all this, like the smartphone, the tablet, enable ubiquitous access to information, social network, tools for learning and productivity, and much more. Only if we want to learn how to really take advantage and leverage all this technology that we have, the powerful technology that we have in our hand in the form of tablet and also iPhone. Smartphone, not only iPhone, but any kind of smartphone. And we saw the statistic just now. Daily time spent with media, 6 hours, 43 minutes. Using the internet, using social media, 2 hours, 24 minutes. How do we now use this statistic? And aware about this and try to design and deliver learning to the students. And, get them engaged using whatever platform and whatever tool that we have, and make learning very, very engaging and very fun. And yet the bottom line, learning happens and it happens effectively. So this is what we call learning on demand, which simply means, we learn best by acquiring information that is relevant to us in the moment based on our current context. You don't have to, you can learn just about anything now with the phone in your hand, with the computer at your disposal. You are connected to the internet, even with the minimum like 3G. You can have access. You can learn just about anything that you want to learn. For example, I want to learn how to bake a chocolate cake. I don't know a thing about chocolate cake. I don't know a thing about baking a cake. So I just go to YouTube, watch a few videos. Then I will go to the kitchen and try, and perhaps I can bake a decent chocolate cake. My daughter has done that, So that is learning just in time and just enough. I want to learn just how to bake chocolate cake. I don't care about learning how to bake a cheesecake. Just enough. And just for me, very personalized. So what is happening now and in the future, everyone now can create their own playlist on any topic of interest. Just like you are creating a playlist on YouTube, just like you create your playlist on iTunes or on Spotify. So now you create a playlist of courses, online courses on a particular topic, and you can study anytime, anywhere you like. That is learning on demand. Just in case, just in time, just enough, and just for me. That's the concept of LOD, learning on demand. So, ladies and gentlemen, the dear students, you are now part of this learning on demand, and educators as well. How do we now take advantage of this, leverage this learning on demand concept? Learning is no longer and shouldn't be confined in a classroom. We have to change this mindset. We have to change this paradigm. Learning is now borderless. Our classroom is no longer a secret garden. Why I call it secret garden? Because still many lecturers or many teachers, they want, when they teach anything in the class, everything stay in the class. They don't want anyone to peek into their classroom and try to see what they are doing in the classroom. No, that's no longer a secret garden. Everything now is transparent. You can share your teaching content on YouTube, on any places, so that people can see, people can use, people can give feedback so that you can improve on your material. Students, you can be now more independent, more self-directed, more self-regulated. You don't have to wait until the teacher tell you to learn about something. You can just go to any learning platform and can learn by yourself. Okay, so that's basically learning on demand concept. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is really exciting to be part of the learning revolution happening around us, with new learning paradigms and technologies emerging on daily basis. Education today in the globalized and connected world is about adapting to changing world. How and what we teach has to learn as well. So the way we teach, on the teacher side, they have to change. The way students learn, the way we learn also have to change. Okay, so we need a new kind of mindset, new paradigm, new framework. On the teacher side, on the educator side, we have to re-examine the structure of the curriculum. We have to look at the way we deliver the course, face-to-face as well as online. So there's a lot of kind of makeover need to be done. Rethinking teaching, redesign learning. And students, you have to also think about how you want to change the way you learn now. It's no longer waiting to be fed with information, because the information is there. Even before you step into the classroom for your class, for your lecture, you have already learned that topic from from other courses that is already available online. Okay, and maybe you can even become smarter than your lecturer. That can really happen. Yeah, so education is not so much the content now. Move away from thinking about content, because content is there for everyone to access, but it's what you take with you when you forget the content, when you graduate. Okay, and this Seth Godin is a very prominent name in in education as well as in design. He said that if there's information that can be recorded, widespread digital access now means that just about anyone can look it up. To the extent that sometimes, if you think about it, you don't have to go to the class to learn, because you can look at the information already available in the internet. The course that your lecturer is teaching is probably available in many different platforms offered by all the famous professors. So why do you want to go to classroom? So this is where the lecturers, the teachers now have to bring or create a new value, something that the student cannot get from Mr. Google, something that the student cannot access, they cannot get from the internet. Okay, so in online education, when moving forward, actually, is more about creating a meaningful learning experience with using technology, with technology. I love this picture here. The two boys are laughing and enjoying their time, having a laptop, having connection to the internet. So that's life. Life is good because there's no dull moment nowadays, because every moment you can learn a lot of things. Yeah, even TikTok. I only explored TikTok in the last 2 weeks, and I find that there's a lot of teachers actually teaching on TikTok, and really, really very, very interesting. Yeah. So learning happen now in the cloud. Technologies now is increasingly cloud-based. So now, you have a cloud network from which you can access all the website, all the platform in the different format, in the video format, in PDF format. You can download to your computer. So with all this cloud technology, you can learn just about anything. So the cloud enables personal learning. Learning now become more and more and more personalized. You can create your own learning playlist, your course playlist. Yeah, allow students to interact and collaborate with an ever-expanding circle of their peers, regardless of geographical location. This is where creativity and innovation comes in. If you are doing the assignment nowadays, you don't have to do assignment with 5 of your colleagues or 5 classmates in your own class. You can do assignment doing collaboration with other groups in UPM, in USM, and in universities overseas. It depends on how the lecturer, your lecturer, design it. Learning can be now very global. Okay, just like our webinar today, maybe you have participants from different countries as well. There's nothing stopping you now with the technology that we have. It's just whether you want to do it or not. So now we can have a personal cloud. Really, you can have a personal cloud where you have all your learning playlists inside that cloud, that you can have access to it 24/7 only from your phone. This is really a powerful, we are living in a really very exciting time nowadays. As you can see here in 60 seconds as I speak now, how many people are uploading YouTube video to YouTube. 600 plus new videos are uploaded in 1 minute, equivalent to 25 hours of watch time. What about the number of tweets, the number of search on Google, the number of, all this. So there are huge amount of information being uploaded, being generated in the internet in 1 minute. Okay, so that's why, we can learn about anything nowadays from the internet. And these are the types of digital content that we have access now, compared to 20 years ago or 25 years ago. The type of digital content that we have now are really, really mind-boggling. We have interactive. We can do interactive, collaborative learning, personalized learning. We have video, infographics now. We have all kind of data visualization. We have animation, content curation, ebook, gamification. Yeah, animation, for example. It used to be very difficult to visualize something. For example, how the engine works, how the all these biochemistry processes that happens in the cell, for example. How the mitochondria functions, for example. How the Krebs cycle happens. All these things now can be visualized through animation, and we can understand more. And compared to 20 years ago, where when you learn through a diagram, static diagram, sometimes you struggle to visualize the process. This is how the technology can really change the way we learn nowadays. Infographic now become more and more popular. Gamification. Learning can be gamified to make it interesting, to add elements of fun and excitement into learning. So learning can be very social now. The nature of learning is social. So now we can leverage on all these social learning platforms, social media platform. Some people are still quite skeptical of social media. To me, I always say this, don't be a slave to social media, but be a master to social media. You are the master. You are not the slave. So don't get the social media be your master. You are the master. So don't be afraid of social media. I use Facebook a lot, but I learn tons. I learn tons of knowledge, new knowledge from Facebook, from Twitter. For a long time, I don't understand Twitter until perhaps 5 years ago, when I started to explore Twitter for learning, teaching and learning. Then I realized, wow, it's so powerful. YouTube, of course, I started my YouTube channel in 2009. Feel free to check my YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search my name, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube. Yeah, but I have not only learned a lot from YouTube, but I have my teaching material on YouTube, and I get a lot of feedbacks, good feedbacks, input from people watching my YouTube video. And from there, I learn to improve further my teaching. That's how you can, for teachers and lecturers out there in this session, I use YouTube to get peer review of my teaching. Where can you get peer review for your teaching? For your research paper, manuscript, you can get peer review. Then you improve your research paper. Teaching, your teaching material, this is where make your teaching material available online so that students around the world can also use your teaching material for their own course. Just look at the comments below the video in my YouTube channel. I get students from all over the world, say thank you to me because my material really helped them for their class. Lecturers teaching the same subject in other universities in India, in Indonesia, thank me because they also use the material for their teaching. So, power of social media. Yeah. So, what is more exciting now is a concept of open education. The concept of sharing is caring. The concept of providing educational content free for everyone to access. This is concept of open education. So the future of learning is open, but the future that I'm talking about in this slide here, and the slide is actually 5 or 6 years old, is no longer a future. The future is here. Open education is here already. Yeah, open means a lot of things. Open source, free resources, anything that is open versus proprietary. Open versus closed. So this is the digital era where we want to share educational content as much as possible and don't keep it to ourselves. You want to be a content creator now rather than just a content user. So ladies and gentlemen, the world is getting smaller and smaller, not in terms of size, but in terms of how people are connected now around the world. We send an email now to someone in US, and he or she can reply in real time, within minutes. So that's how we feel people are so close to us now. I'm here in Penang now, you are there, and not everywhere in Malaysia now, but you can listen to me as if I'm sitting next to you. So the world is getting smaller. So this is where online education now reach out people globally, reaching out global learners, delivering education for all, which basically support the UNESCO United Nations agenda of education for all. And who is leading this? Who is leading this open education agenda? MIT, through their open courseware. They start to offer their courses online. So you can see if you go to their website, MIT Open Courseware, this is their tagline, their motto: unlocking knowledge, empowering minds. Free lecture notes, exam, and videos from MIT. I'm not sure how many of you students here are really using all these online courses that is available free on many online platforms out there. Okay, for all you know, the course that you are doing now in AIMST, those courses are also available, offered by Ivy League University around the world. There are many students still not aware of this, sadly. So, if I want to just share with you the evolution of the so-called open education concept. Started with OpenCourseware by MIT, at the same time UNESCO, because they want to promote the agenda of education for all. They also push this agenda, so-called OER, Open Educational Resources. So around 2000 to 2012, online education is really kind of become more and more popular and become more and more mainstream until in 2012, the year of so-called the year of MOOC, which basically online course open to everyone. And at that time, Stanford University, Professor Tran, teaching artificial intelligence, he offered his course in the form of MOOC, open online course, massive open online courses. And within a week or so, he got 160,000 students registered, enrolled in his course. It was really, to him, shocking, unbelievable. He just teach about 100 students in Stanford University, the course on artificial intelligence, and suddenly he get 160,000 students from all over the world. That's really mark the MOOC that at that time really exploded. Okay, so now we have all these platforms: Udacity, Udemy, edX, Future Learn, Open Learning, Coursera, Canvas, and so on. So as a student, to me, when I compare the time when I was a student, really there is no excuse now for students not to be be independent learners, because they have access to all this content. In fact, they can study the 14 weeks course just by taking the courses, similar courses available online. That can really happen in reality. Yeah. So MOOC stand for Massive Open Online Courses, because the student can be thousands from all over the world, and started in basically in early 2000. At that time, 160 countries already involved and offering their courses online, and become very, very popular. And now, as of 2020, about 180 million students are taking online courses from 950 universities. There are now about 16.3 thousand online courses free available. And now there's something called micro-credential, which is a small modules available also. And MOOC-based degree is already there. People can take a full degree through online courses. So there are many online platform available. If you are not aware and you have not been exploring this one, so today I want to show you a few platform that you can explore after this session. Coursera is the most popular one, and the universities that offering the course here is not any university. These are Ivy League university, reputable universities. Coursera, you can see courses like all these technical courses, as well as courses for lifelong learners, academic and non-academic courses as well. For example, Johns Hopkins University, they offer good courses on sciences, especially mathematics, statistics, programming, biotechnology. So check out this website. edX, also high quality online courses. Udacity, focus more on computer-based, programming-based kind of courses, yeah. And all these are the platform here. iVersity, German, based in German, high quality courses from there. Canvas platform, Academic Earth. You can find many universities are putting their courses also here to increase the visibility of their program and their universities. Open Library, yeah. Open Learning, which now we are using for our Malaysian MOOC, and USM is also using Open Learning for our MOOC as well as for our micro-credential. And in our Malaysia Education Blueprint, ship number 9 here, globalized online learning, is basically to push the agenda of online education to all the universities in Malaysia. So this Malaysia MOOC, which was launched in 2014. So check out Malaysia MOOC. If you Google Malaysia MOOC, you'll find 20 public universities in Malaysia are offering some of their online courses for free, of course, and some of it are relevant to your program. So why not just check out? You can get all these resources to complement your course that you are doing now. And we have published one coffee book table here, and this is a chapter that I wrote to talk about to describe the history of Malaysia MOOC. You can download this free. Just Google Malaysia MOOC, the journey. Then you can, I think you can get the PDF copy. Very nice story of how Malaysia MOOC happened in Malaysia. The initiative by Malaysia Higher Education Ministry. This is a USM MOOC. If you like to see, you just Google USM MOOC. You can see now we have about 36 courses online. This is another platform, Udemy. Everyone can teach any course free here and can sell your course. But for students, you can take some good courses here. They have millions of, they have I think more than 100,000 courses, online courses now. Actually, I have taken some courses here and learn a new skill from Udemy. For example, I learned how to do stock trading. I took 5 courses from Udemy and I become a competent stock trader from Udemy. A true story, yeah. Skillshare, yeah. This is another platform, Teachable, Thinkific. So I just walk through some of these online platform, and even if you go to masterclass, this is a really wonderful online course taught by celebrities, taught by the experts in the area. Yeah. So masterclass, very well done. Hollywood style online course, not very expensive, but very high quality because the teachers are the celebrities or the real expert in the area. Yeah. Example of online course from Coursera, as you can see here. Yeah. This is our MOOC. This is our Malaysia MOOC from UPM. And finally, with online education, students can play a more active or even more proactive role. And teachers can design the assignment so that you allow the students to create their own content. So for example, here, this is my own, the assignment that I give to the class, my own course. So Padlet is very popular, I'm sure you know. So they create all sort of activities using Padlet, mind map like this to summarize the topic after we have finished one topic, one of the assignment. They have summarized what they have learned in the form of mind map. There are many free tools available there. And this is one of the interactive presentation, that my students have produced. So each one of these is actually interactive element. So for example, when you click this, the video, a video will come out like this. So you can play the video, then the text. So this is actually an interactive presentation, the assignment in the form of interactive presentation using only a free tool. Yeah, I think this one they use, I remember the name. Yeah. So last part of my sharing this morning, what is the future hold for us? What would the future bring to us in the form of online education? There are so many things, but I just want to share only one big thing that is happening now. We are looking into how we can give credential. For example, if you watch 10 minutes YouTube video and you learn one skill, how do you get credential or recognition of the skill that you have learned? So this is what we call the digital credentialing, a new way how we can give credential to anything that you learn, the module, the course, online course, and so on, through concept of digital credentialing, through the concept of digital badges. So this is the concept of digital credentialing or micro credential. If you Google digital credentialing or if you Google micro credential, you will get thousands of articles on this. This is to me a real game changer. Yeah, a real game changer, because I think MQA has launched the guideline for micro credential, which means now everyone now can get a degree, even though now they are working, they can learn slowly. They can take the modules slowly and accumulate the digital badge and then put them together to get a full degree. Yeah, and this will be very flexible. So in the future, the education will be subscription based. You know, pay per course, pay per module. You don't have to take and pay for the full degree at one go, but you can do it slowly. Okay, so this is one of the future trend now. I think will become big. Alternative credentialing through a so-called stackable credential, competency-based education, blockchain concept, the concept of micro bachelors. You know, so I guess that's about all. In the future, the difference between formal education and informal education will become less and less. You know, and online education will become a big business also. So if you want to venture into business, online education is now becoming a big business. Okay, so take home message or conclusion from my presentation here. The evolution of online education from the, within the span of 20 years or 25 years has brought a lot of changes in the way we teach, in the way we learn, will make education more flexible, the delivery of education, design and delivery of education more flexible. The concept of learning on demand, anytime, anywhere. And the students now will have more control of what they want to learn, when they want to learn, where they want to learn. And they can create their own playlist, their own learning playlist, student-driven learning path. And the teachers now can empower students to be more self-directed, more independent, and more self-regulated, more proactive, because everything there is there in the internet. And we can prepare students to be a lifelong learners. And teachers now have to look at their role in different perspectives, changing the mindset and changing the way they design and deliver education to the students by leveraging the power of online education. So folks, ladies and gentlemen, COVID is still around, so stay home, stay safe, stay productive, of course. And from Steve Jobs, he said, stay hungry for knowledge, stay foolish, be creative, be innovative. And from me, stay strong. Okay, and that's my final slide. Thank you for listening. If you want to communicate with me, that's my official email. And you can take a photo of this slide because there's a link you can share with others. You can download all the 100 slides that you have seen today, and feel free to use it as you wish and modify it as you wish. Thank you very much for this opportunity, AIMST. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Dr. Karim, for that wonderful talk. And it is interesting how our online course is moving in the future. We are coming to a borderless classroom, not that far ahead. Okay. Now I would like to invite the audience to ask questions to clear any of your doubts. Question can be asked either by submitting it through our Zoom chat box or unmuting yourself.
Can I ask question, Darren?
Yes, sir.
Professor Karim, thank you very much. I have enjoyed your presentation. It was really, really, wonderful to get some insights. I have 3 questions, okay? So question number 1, in Malaysia, what are the challenges for online education? So this one is my first question. So maybe we can go one by one.
Oh, challenges. Challenges are always there. Challenges abound. For example, I mentioned about digital divide. In terms of the infrastructure, we're supposed to have 5G very soon, but we are still on 4G, 3G. So the speed of the internet, the accessibility in terms of the last mile connection, currently the internet penetration, the connectivity in Malaysia stand around 80%. But that 80% can be misleading as well because the quality of the connection actually varies. And we assume from the statistics, it seems that everyone has at least a mobile phone or a smartphone. But that assumption probably we have to be careful because there are still probably a small number of students don't have the phone, don't have the laptop. So when we talk about access to education through online, of course, the prerequisite there is good internet connection, the ownership of the device. So that will be some of the challenges. Next, second challenge will be the mindset. So you see, the mindset, the skill set as well, and the tool set. The tool set is the phone just now, the internet connection, then the mindset. When I say about mindset, the mindset of both the educators, the teachers, the lecturers, the academics, and also the mindset of the students. The readiness of the teachers, the readiness of the students to do online learning, to do online teaching. So the readiness are still not there, I think. And we have to understand that when the students are everywhere in their home, what is the environment that they have at home? Some of them are staying in a small apartment. They have 10 siblings, 5 siblings in the house. So when we have an internet session, when we have a session like this, the sisters, brothers make a noise and so on. So it's not a very conducive environment for them to learn. All these are the challenges. So the mindset and the readiness is actually, to me, is one of the great challenges. And also the skill set. Not all our lecturers are ready to design good, excellent online course of the highest quality that is really engaging, very meaningful. So not all of them have the right skill or the necessary skill. So they need to learn. The students, we assume that students, most of them are millennial, the Z generation. I can see the faces here. We assume that they are very good with technology, but I think that's a wrong assumption. They might be good with Instagram, they might be good with TikTok, but how to learn online, that's probably a new skill that they have to learn. So we cannot make so much assumption. So those are some of the challenges.
Okay, thank you. My another second question is, because you mentioned about the MOOC degrees, because now young generation is very lucky. They can attend the courses from different universities and they can collect the credentials and they can get a MOOC degree you mentioned. So in that context, because there are a number of universities, number of colleges, so how you see there will be an impact of these MOOC degrees on these colleges and universities in this new era of the online learning?
I think with online education now, and in the future we can see more and more universities will be offering the program that they have, the campus-based program, in the form, they will have a version of it in the form of online. And more universities are going into that in the form of so-called micro credential program, which make the program more flexible now. And this is where the universities should jump on the bandwagon and start to offer the program, but the program must be of equivalent in terms of quality, or can be even better than what we can offer in the face-to-face environment. This can happen. The online program also can be done as a blended program, meaning that some of the credit or courses can be taken as part of the face-to-face program, and some of the courses can be taken online. So that's another model where how we can design the online program. But I think if the universities are not jumping into the bandwagon to offer online program, I think they will be left behind. So online education and online programs are low-hanging fruits, meaning that everyone can grab the fruits because it's low-hanging, low-lying fruits. The opportunities are there for everyone to grab. If you don't grab it, you'll lose it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So my third question is because you mentioned education as a business, and lecturers and academicians do have wonderful opportunities to play the role in new era. So if somebody is interested to start something, how that individuals should go ahead and use the skills to play the role in education industry as an individual, maybe you can elaborate a little bit.
Indeed, great opportunity actually to become, there's a term called edupreneur, and everyone, including the students now, can become an edupreneur. There are many ways of becoming an edupreneur, as simple as teach online, offer a small course, 1 hour module, 1 hour course online. And I speak from my own experience because I am teaching online and sell my course online as well. Okay, and I can tell you, although I'm not doing this seriously because of course I still have a job and I my responsibility to help people doing online is there, but I take the initiative to teach a few courses online because I want to experience how it's like, whether it's really possible to earn a living teaching online. And my answer to you is really possible. If you check on Udemy, you go to a platform called Udemy, Udemy, search my name, Abdul Karim alias ABD Karim alias, you will see 3 courses there. If you go to Skillshare, Skillshare, one word, search my name there, you will see I have 3 courses there. And I can disclose to you every month I get some good money from those courses. Okay, so that individual, how we can be edupreneur. You can write an ebook. You can write an ebook and sell on Amazon. If you go to Amazon, search my name, you'll find my ebook there. Okay, I don't make that much money because I have only 1 book there, and that book was not well planned. So, but I still make money, but not much, not much. But if you do it seriously, you can do online course, you can do ebook, you can do all sort of things online. And I know that TikTok people are earning millions on TikTok just by doing crazy things. But of course, we don't want to do crazy things on TikTok. You can do useful things on TikTok and still earn money. So really, really, this is a really exciting time you are living in with the online opportunities that we have. Become an edupreneur.
Yeah. Thank you, Prof. I think thank you for sharing. I think it will be useful for all the participants and individuals, those are interested to explore the area. Thank you very much.
And for your information, my YouTube channel, I only monetized only some of the videos only a few months ago, only less than 6 months, I think, monetized only some of the video. I have 300 plus videos on my YouTube channel. So I wanted to try how it's like to become a YouTuber who earn from their channel. And I was surprised. This education video, I don't expect a lot of people will watch educational video, but you know how much I earn on average? I can declare and share with you on average 1,000 ringgit monthly.
Oh, great.
So the opportunities are there. The opportunities are there for everyone, institution and individual alike, to really leverage on the power of online education. And you check the statistic, online education is $1 billion business.
Yeah. Thank you, Prof. Thank you very much. Darren, over to you. Thank you very much for allowing me to ask the question. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. And we have another question here, Prof. He is asking
the chat.
Online learning skill in a skill-based profession like healthcare, wherein human life is involved, how far digitally certified practitioner will be reliable?
Healthcare. Well, you see, John Hopkins And those are the universities offering, actually you will find a lot of health sciences courses online. Yeah. And of course, health, engineering, medical engineering, these are so-called professional program. So you cannot simply offer online program without the approval of the what do you call this professional board. Yeah. But that should not stop us from offering some of the programs, especially we can go for so-called knowledge-based type courses, theory, theory-based. For the hands-on type, practical, that really need hands-on. Of course, that one need to be done, face-to-face, because those are critical skills that they need to learn, they need to acquire, they need to master. Some part of it can still be done online by demonstration using the video and so on. But to really make sure that the students acquire the right skill, especially the critical skill, then it has to be done on face-to-face. So we can do it as hybrid programming, hybrid or blended program, especially for medical program that have some amali or practical or lab-based component. So those can be done face-to-face. The theory part, those lectures that we give in the classroom, that can be done online. Okay, so yep, fully online or blended, no problem.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
I have a question.
Yes,
May I
Mr.
ask
Kalia.
you?
Yes.
All right, to Prof. Abdul Karim.
Yeah.
First of all, Prof, it's a very interesting presentation.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. My question is in regards to testing and evaluation via online. All right. Okay. I don't know. I felt that I used to have this kind of problem, when they do their exams or quizzes via online, and some of them, when we ask them to submit assignments, copy and paste work is easily can be found. We can see a very flawless assignment. From there we really suspect that it's taken from somewhere. But then some assignments, because we cannot control how they do it, like due to this pandemic, we didn't even meet our students. So some assignments is being coached, or even it is helped by their, sorry to say this, by their parents or their siblings. We never know who is helping them to do, because we get a very good assignment. Unless we meet them face to face, we know their real talent. All right. And another thing, when we are doing quizzes online, some students manage to get help. They exchange information via phone. And although it's kind of, we can do open book tests, it's still, there's some limitation there. So the only limitation I put it for these some exams or quizzes is only lie at time limitation, Prof. It's like, in between, in this time, they don't even have time to consult their friends or anyone, but unless whoever, like their parents or siblings, sit beside them, helping them out with the test, I can control it. I mean, we can control it. So is there any other techniques that we can do in terms of testing and evaluation, Prof?
It's a very common question. It's a FAQ basically, but there's no definite and easy answer for that. It's a difficult issue. Integrity is all about integrity. Imagine in the face-to-face situation, if we do test or exam, students can cheat. So I have to be careful here because students are here, right? Students can cheat. Even in my own class, I know this is actually a test. And I was invigilating, it's only a small class, about 60 students. I was invigilating together with my graduate students, so about 3 of us. And it turned out the students really sitting right in front of me can still cheat, can still copy from Google, can still Google from the internet. So it was just kind of mind-boggling to me, so fast that I didn't see it, So and let alone in online situation. You know, we have a system now, the so-called proctored exam platform and so on. And there's a lot of discussion on how do we ensure that the students would not cheat, would not copy, would not do this and that. And to me, this is really a very tiring kind of discussion, and is almost endless. We can devise the technology, and still is an area where a lot of research being done by the companies, you know, to come up with so-called foolproof technology, so that we can, you know, we can find ways that students cannot cheat. I don't believe that such system will exist. Maybe 90%, but not 100%. So I don't have the definite answer for that. But if only we can teach integrity right from the early age in the school, so that we don't have to worry about the students cheating. We trust our students. You know, sometimes I ask this question: can we trust our students? And I ask this question to the students actually in the classroom, in this face-to-face class. Okay, we're going to have a test, and can I just leave you without anyone looking or invigilating? Can I trust you? And you know what? I get like almost like 80% of the class say, no. They said, don't trust us. And that is very sad, very sad. And this is still widespread. So I'm not going to answer these questions directly, but this is all about integrity. Can you imagine if we cannot have integrity, we spend a lot of time and investment and money to make sure that students don't cheat, don't copy. So we have to pay, turn it in every year, a few 100,000 ringgit. We have to get a so-called proctored exam platform to make sure when the student do online exam, online test, they cannot cheat. So we spend a few 100,000 there just to make sure students don't cheat, don't copy. Very sad. And these are the students who will graduate, who become, some of them become academic like us. Some of them will become, you know, various jobs, careers, become government officers, become big name, big people in the future. And these are people who cheat in the exam and show on their manuscript proudly CGPA 4.0, CGPA 3.9, knowing well that they cheated their way to that CGPA. Shame on them. Shame on them. You know, not shame on you, but shame on them who have done that. So I think the universities, the lecturers, we have to play the role to inculcate, to instill these values of integrity, so that you don't have to pay for turning in, you don't have to worry, you don't have to lose your sleep thinking that your students cheat. You don't have to spend time to check the turn it in for plagiarism and so on. I am tired of this actually. You know, honestly, I am tired of this, and happy to say that I have only less than 2 years left in my career, but sad to say that this issue will be discussed in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. Very sad, right? I'm sorry about being a bit emotional here, but you are right, Agilia, that this is the issue that is still prevalent and still very worrying. So students, if you are listening here, don't be one of them. You know, you want to be proud even if you graduate with 2.8, I would say 2.8 clean, 2.8. Be proud of it. But if you graduate with 3.9, 3.8, 4.0, and you know you cheat in all the exams, can you look at yourself in the mirror? I don't know. Answer that. Okay. Okay. All right.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro, for your explanation.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a few more questions there in the chat. Are industries ready to take students coming out or graduated from purely online-based education? I feel there is still stigma. Yeah, that's right. Syndrome here. There's still stigma. The perception that online education, online degree is still of the inferior quality. This is where the role of universities now to prove them wrong. And the graduate who graduate from from the online program prove the employers wrong that your quality, your performance is as good, if not better, than those graduate in the face-to-face conventional program. The universities have to prove the employers wrong by designing the best quality online program. Okay, so yes, the stigma is still there, the perception is still there, but it's our responsibility to prove them wrong. Yeah. So Lim Chia here, thanks for sharing. My question is, online learning requires students to get online in the first place, yes, which isn't possible for many families due to internet access. That's right, agreed. The availability varies widely from state to state, correct. In Japan, some schools have decided not to provide classes online for now, worrying that it will worsen educational inequality. Can you share your thoughts on this matter? Even Japan, yeah, Japan. I've been to Japan a few times, 3, 4 times doing my sabbatical there, my research there. The quality of internet, even 10 years ago, already very good. And yet they are still very cautious, yeah, still very cautious because they do want to make sure that nobody is left behind. I think if you want to wait until everyone has connection, perhaps that will take a few more years. So I think we can still do online as much as we can. But for those who do not have access, there are other ways how we can reach them. We can send them through the normal, the old days of corresponding calls. We can send them, through post and so on. As long as they get access to the material, maybe in the hard copy form, not in the online form. But that should not stop us from doing this online. I think that we shouldn't do that. Any more questions, Darren? You can start from here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I have another question from one person. This person is a part-time tuition teacher. So he wants your opinion. How do we convince people who are skeptical on the effectiveness of online education?
The same one. Yeah, the skepticism will still be there. That's why if before you teach online, I always tell to people, if you want to teach online and even sell your course online, be a learner first. Be a student of online course first before you are teaching online or before you become online teacher. Okay, you are not qualified to teach online before you take courses online as a student. So that's why I have taken, I don't know, maybe, I lost count, maybe hundreds, maybe not hundreds, maybe close to 100, maybe online courses as students from all these different platforms, and went through the course, but probably I don't complete most of the courses, but at least I went through so that I know how they design the course. I know how it feels like from the student side, what good online course is like, what are the criteria. And only then, and then you learn how to create good online course, what are the elements and the features and the characteristics of good online course, how to create good content, how to create activities, how do we create good assessment, online assessment, and all those things. Only then you are competent enough to teach online. Then only then you can convince people, remove that stigma, remove that negative perception that online course is not good enough. I have been doing this for 26 years, since the early days of computer, and take it from me, online course can be as good and even better than face-to-face course if you do it right. If you do it right. If you are competent enough to create good online course.
True.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir. That's very true. And I have a couple of questions from our Google Forms. The first one is, how would you see the implementation of VR or AR technology for online learning to replace practical activities? And what is our current level now? And what is the limitation?
The AR and VR, the current level first, I think still very early days. Not many educators explore VR and AR. You know, Daryl, even the doing basic online session like this, many teachers and educators are still struggling. Even to design one good online course, many teachers and educators are still struggling, let alone using VR and AR. So it's still very early days, but I strongly believe VR and AR has huge potential. Huge potential. Gamification is another one. And I'm quite late into gamification. Only recently I came into gamification. I was skeptical also. Although I've been doing online, but I was quite skeptical on gamification. But only when I start to explore, whoa, I can see gamification can be really, really powerful. The same thing on VR and AR. I have not yet stepped into AR and VR, but I have seen how people use AR and VR, and I believe this is the next big thing in education, the next game changer. And I think AIMST should explore more on this. I know University Technology Petronas, UTP, spend millions on setting up their VR, So those UTP students can be very proud. They can go to the planta minyak, in the virtual, and do all sorts of things at the planta minyak without being in planta minyak. So that's really big thing. And USM, we are into this very, very early days, but we are starting.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And we have another question.
Okay.
How to keep student engagement during classes?
Oh, there's another FAQ. There's another FAQ. I've been answering this question every time. Well, engagement is really a great challenge. A great challenge. I'm sure when I was presenting just now, some of you fell asleep. Some of you probably switch off your webcam and go to the kitchen and make your coffee. Some of you were probably doing things on another laptop or on your phone and so on. So engagement is really, really tough, really difficult. This is one area where when we design online course, remember when we do online, there are two modes. One is called synchronous and another one is called asynchronous. What we are doing now is synchronous, real time. I can see you, you can see me, you can hear me. When we offline, there is the asynchronous. And when we design the course for online, both on synchronous and asynchronous have to incorporate the elements of engagement. Okay, so those are big things we can do. There are many tools, many strategies that we can do, can be done to engage them. For example, if I do this session in the form of what call this jigsaw. Do you know jigsaw? Any one of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes.
Jigsaw technique. Maybe face to face, easy to do jigsaw. How to do jigsaw online? Challenging, but we have tried. So if you do jigsaw, 2 hours jigsaw, nobody will have time to do anything else. They will participate fully. If you understand jigsaw, that's one example. But how to do jigsaw online can be done. You just need to learn. That's all.
Yes. Thank you, sir. And we have another question here. How do you ensure students are prevented from miseducated, as we know that students have the freedom to choose what they want to learn?
Oh, all right. So yeah, because you are free, you have the freedom, total freedom to create your own playlist.
Yeah.
How do you ensure that the student would not miseducated? That's a good term, miseducated. Well, the freedom is there. They are free to learn just about anything. if they want even to learn how to, well, I don't know whether I want to mention make nanti bila I mention the term bomb nanti ICIA datang atau FBI datang tangkap lah kan. Yeah, so that's why I say that technology can be used, can be abused. Okay, online education can be used, can be abused. People learn a lot of bad things also online. For example, just now how to make a bomb, how to all these bad things they can learn. So it's all up to the people. But if let's say a student wanting to wish to take a degree, a full degree through a micro-credential program, modular program. So all they need to do, they can see the learning path. They can see, okay, I have to take this one first, then this one, and this one, this one, this one, this one, at their own time, when they can pay, when they can afford to pay. So very, very flexible. So the whole package, they can see the whole package in order to get a full degree. So that is up to the university how to create that learning path to make it clear for the students to follow the path in order to get to the final degree. Okay, but outside of it, we have no control. The student can learn just about anything they like. They can create a playlist on anything they like. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
I have again a question.
Wow.
How to impose, our Google Forms.
How to?
How to impose online education to special needs students, challenge and opportunities for teachers in special education.
Oh yeah, I think that's a very good question. May I know who asked the question? Maybe this is a teacher or lecturer involved in special education, maybe? Yeah.
I was not provided a name, sir.
Yeah. Yes, special education. You see, SDG, Sustainable Development Goal 4, under UNESCO, spell out that education must be inclusive. So special education come under one of these categories, meaning that anyone with disability, anyone with impaired vision, impaired hearing, all these, must also have access to education. So through this, special, how does online learning cater for this? This were one specific area, but there are ways. There are ways, and people are working, doing research and so on special education using online. Yeah? I cannot provide specific answers for this, but I know very well that this is one big area. I personally, I don't explore on that area, but I know online education can provide some tools and means and mechanism to provide online education for special for this group of people. For example, there's in US we have a law. We have specific law. For example, when you create a video or a movie, there must be a subtitle, so that people with impaired hearing they cannot listen, but they can read the subtitle. Those are the things. For example, they call it universal design UDL, universal design for learning, universal design for learning UDL. You can Google it. These are actually how we design any course, whether it's face to face, whether it's online, to make sure it is inclusive. Inclusive means anyone, without no matter what is their physical physical ability, whether from which part of the world, demographic, their socio-economic status, whether they are from B40 or whatnot, everyone will have equal access to education. That is what inclusive education is about. So universal design for learning UDL would ensure this can be done through the design of the course.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah, UDL,
very informative. Yeah, I'll Google it afterwards.
Yeah.
Our next question is: the COVID-19 pandemic have brought in much stress and new challenges to the world of higher education. Looking back, what were the positive outcomes that emerged from this difficult time, and what are the most important lessons learned that ought to be reminded to everyone Looking forward, how should we be our attitudes? This attitude is for student and lecturers, behaviors in facing the new challenges in 2021.
Yeah, I agree. COVID-19 is perhaps one of the best things that happened in our life. One of the perhaps teacher that teach us a lot of things. One of the lessons learned perhaps, don't be complacent. Don't be complacent. So imagine the teachers, for example, if they have been doing online learning, online teaching before the COVID episode, before 2020. Can you imagine when COVID came and everyone is locked down and everyone go online? There is no situation where, havoc, kelam kabut, and everyone is, oh, what to do, how to do this, how to do that, panic, a kind of panicky situation. Imagine that. So the complacency, easy to, it's very easy for everyone to get into their comfortable comfort zone and not, not really putting effort to learn more. But now when COVID came, so everyone now can see. So the good thing that came from, one of the lessons learned from COVID is everyone now can see the power of online now. Now they start to appreciate. Those who were very negative before COVID, now when they start to teach online, then they came to me, they told me personally, oh, Prof, really, now only I can see really eye-opening, now I understand why you have been, advocating online, you have been pushing this, only now we realize, and they say, oh, okay, that's good. Now I don't have to do much work now because COVID have done that work. And now we also aware where we are, like the gaps. The government now realized they should have invested more in providing the best infrastructure, the best internet connection in the country. It's still not too late, but had they invested, just like Korea, Singapore, Japan, even Vietnam, had they invested a few years ago, put the money in improving the internet infrastructure in Malaysia, then we are not now discussing about the digital divide anymore. So the lessons learned by the government, lessons learned by the university in terms of the preparedness, readiness, the contingency plan, plan B, plan C. So everyone learn. If you want to learn. If you don't care, then you don't learn anything,
Yes. Yep. COVID-19 really opened our eyes, sir.
Yeah.
True,
Everyone,
sir.
everyone
Yeah.
learned.
And our final question today.
Okay.
How to establish an online education platform legally?
How to establish online platform legally?
Yeah, online education platform legally.
Well, a lot of things you can do actually legally. For example, I don't know what exactly you mean by online platform. Let's say you want to create a platform on your own to teach courses. Okay, so you create a video, then you can upload to YouTube. Then you want to put all your YouTube video in one website as your platform. So you can use Google Site, for example. I use I use Google Site a lot for my training module and so on. So you create a Google Site, embed all your video, your YouTube video, then you can create a structure, very systematic. So that can be done very easily. Let me just quickly share one module with you, all of you. Just have a look how I create this module using just a Google site. Yeah, just
Sure.
a user. Very quickly, I share the link. Let me find one course. Yeah. Okay. So this is basically using Google site. Yeah. Let me paste in the chat box. Where is chat? Yeah. So this module is about creating video for teaching video, educational video. So this module I'm giving away to you FOC, but that's a simple example of how you create your teaching platform using Google site free of charge, and you can sell your course online very easy. Yeah, or you can go to Udemy, sign up for Udemy, create your course, follow the guideline, then you can teach on Udemy for free. Teach for free. Then you can put the price on your course. Let's say $30 for the course. Then you share the profit 50-50 with Udemy. So easy. So
yes. Thank you, sir.
yeah.
And I don't see any new question. So I'm going to wrap up this Q&A session.
Okay.
So thank you, Professor Dr. Karim, for answering these questions. It was indeed a great session. Before I pass the mic back to the MC, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the organizing committee for giving me a chance to serve as moderator. It really was an eye-opening experience and I enjoyed it. Also not forgetting Dr. Subash, the current ABSA advisor. Thank you, sir, for guiding us and being with us through thick and thin. Once again, thank you, everyone. Saukin, over to you.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Abdul Karim, for a wonderful and for a wonderful and informative talk. And thank you very much, Mr. Darren, for moderating the session. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Kamini for a vote of thanks.
Thank you, MC, Mr. Ng. Hello, everyone. I'm Kamini and very proud to tell you that I am a student of BSc Honours in Biotechnology degree program at AIMST University. I believe that this webinar helped you to get some new insight into online education and understand the expected changes in education industry in the near future. On behalf of ABSA and the webinar organizing committee, I want to thank Professor Dr. Abdul Karim Alias for an enlightening and informative talk on online education. Prof, we are really grateful for the time and effort you took to share your thoughts and experience with us. We appreciate it. Thank you, Professor M. Ravichandran, Dean of Faculty of Applied Sciences, for joining our webinar. I would also like to thank all the participants for joining our webinar. Most importantly, I want to take this opportunity to thank the organizing team for their efforts to make this webinar a success. Last but not least, on behalf of organizing committee and AIMST Biotechnology Students Association, I want to thank Dr. Subash for training us. Once again, thank you everyone for making this webinar a success. Anxin, over to you.
Thank you, Ms. Kamini. It was a great session today. Before ending this session, we would like to hear feedback from all participants by scanning the QR code on the screen right now. We promise the evaluation survey will not take you more than 2 minutes. Your feedback will be greatly appreciated. You can either scan the QR code or go to the link shown below. The link is posted in the chat box as well. After the completion of the survey, you will receive a participation certificate in a short while. And I will keep this slide running for 2 more minutes for you to scan the QR code. We are looking forward to having you all joining us again in the next session. Thank you again, everyone, and we wish you good health and safety. Take care, follow SOP to protect yourself and others from COVID-19, and stay safe.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Stay safe.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Stay safe.
Professor Karim.
Yes, yes.
At the end, we'll take a virtual photograph at the end. So just hold on for some time.
Oh, okay. Oh, luckily I didn't. I just about to click leave meeting.
Yeah, just hold on.
Okay.
Prof, I'm Dr. Shivkanya. Yes, I would like to thank you. Because of you only, I learned many things. So as I mentioned, you are the online guru for me. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Dr.
Shivakanya, sir. So
Shivakanya.
I always follow you, and I
Oh.
am very much lucky because in 2014 onwards I'm following you, sir.
Oh.
And I had 3 mock courses. I developed 3 mock courses, 2 on open learning platform and 1 is on Udemy, sir.
Oh, great.
It's
Thank you for
because
following.
of you only.
Thank you for following me. I hope I don't lead you to the wrong place.
No, sir. It's no, from you only I learned many things. So today I'm very much like to see you. It's like a lucky day for me. So, thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. By the way, this is my home studio. By the way, for your information,
Okay, sir.
I
Very
have
nice
a mini studio here. I can do shooting for TV as well from here. Yeah, I do astro, shoot everything here from my room here.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your knowledge.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you so
my
much.
pleasure.
Thank you, Prof. As you know, you are my Sifu all the time. I used to tell you.
Hey, good luck. Good luck with your.
Yeah, most of my students are listening to you today.
Wow. All right. Ask them to check out my YouTube and subscribe.
Definitely, Prof. Yeah, definitely, Prof.
And also my blog. I write about education, teaching, and learning in my blog.
Yeah.
I hope everyone has the chance to scan the QR code, and I'm going to end the meeting. See you soon in our next webinar. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for joining.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
See you the next webinar.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. Stay
Yeah,
safe.
Professor Karim, just hold on.
So, yeah. Oh, picture.
Yes,
I nak tekan je lift.
So I request those on the screen, you can open your camera. Our organizing committee want to have a virtual photograph,
All right.
So
I forgot to put the background, Dr. Subash. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, Prof.
I think my background is nice, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think everybody can smile. One more. Okay. Thank you, Prof.
All right. Okay.
Thank you, Prof.
We are done. We are done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Have a nice lunch.
Yeah.